I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
'23 Polestar 2.
Without launch control.
Not bad.
Ah, it's pretty damn quick.
Horsepower and torque.
408 horsepower, 487 pound-feet of torque from 2 electric motors, making this all-wheel drive.
Heck yeah. What's the range in this thing?
The range is quoted to be 418 kilometers.
Because this is an electric car.
Yes. However, Polestar recommends that you charge up to 90%, so when I did that, the range was actually 380 kilometers.
And did you test the range and everything?
I did. I actually tested a lot of different things. I do have a large charging rant, which I will save for the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get to all the good stuff. The looks. This thing looks fantastic.
I love the wheels. The wheels are the coolest wheels of all time.
The wheels are incredible. Great job, Polestar. These are the optional wheels, and you should 100% option
Well, I
them.
feel like Volvo and Polestar always kill it with their wheel designs.
Yeah, they did.
And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Polestar 2?
The Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus.
Next thing I love, the taillights. I think they look awesome. When I was close to a Polestar on the highway, I was like, wow, that looks sweet. But then from a distance, when I saw you doing a U-turn, I'm like, what's this guy in the Sonata doing a U-turn for? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
it's Jacob. Only the rims were the thing that I noticed that were different.
The taillights are Sonata-ish, but they're like squared off on this one. They do look really, really good though.
And then the headlights are just like normal, I guess, Polestar headlights.
Yes, which are
Volvo
not Volvo headlights. Okay,
And
so
for
if you
anyone
don't
who doesn't
know,
Polestar is owned by the company that owns Volvo, Geely in China.
yes, it's a spin-off of Volvo because Polestar was the performance division of Volvo, and now it's its own thing, which is a luxury thing, which is fully electric, and it's also performance-ish because there's a performance package available for this car, which we don't have.
And that's why we don't have the yellow seatbelts like we did in the Volvo Polestar edition or the top Polestars have yellow seatbelts.
The Volvo Polestars.
No, but the top Polestars have yellow seatbelts.
Yes, and then you have like adaptive Öhlins dampers and whatnot.
Manually adjustable.
Yes.
Also, wait, back to looks.
Okay.
I really like the body lines. I think it looks nice, clean design, and I don't mind that little sticker with the badge thing. I think that's an interesting take on badges.
Yeah, and it tells you the battery level and your kilowatt, aka horsepower. So I don't know, it's weird.
And then quickly, we pop the front. There's a little bit of room there, and this is a hatchback, not a trunk, even though it looks like a trunk. And there's a decent amount of room in the trunk.
There is. And back to what Polestar is, I had a quick conversation with my wife. She's like, "What car is that?" I said, "It's a Polestar." She looked at me weird and she said, "Like the strippers?" And I said, "Yes, like the strippers."
The same joke that every other car reviewer's done, and
It's
we
not
did
a
it
joke.
too.
It's not a joke. This actually happened.
No, I know, but everyone makes a stripper joke.
No, but it's not a joke. I'm not making a joke.
You know,
She didn't understand what I was saying, and I said Polestar.
Zach made a joke that if this was his Polestar, he'd call her Brandy.
Oh,
Good
see,
one.
that's a joke.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't trying to make a joke.
I know, but okay, there's a reference. That never even occurred to me. I think like Pole is in Poland.
Shut up.
Like
Paul.
you're my Polestar.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so rest of this car. It is quick. This is the dual motor version, making it all-wheel drive. There is recently just announced a single motor version of this, which is I think $5,000 less expensive than this. But this is nice and quick. We're only at 52% battery right now, which we'll get to in the rant later, but it's nice and quick, good acceleration, doesn't make you sick, just the right amount of power.
Are we in cold mode or not cold mode?
We're not in cold mode, and that is one of the cool things that this car has that other EVs haven't shown me very clearly, is that there's a little snowflake next to the battery when the battery's too cold, and then it tells you that your performance is limited or your charging's limited. So
Yeah.
it's a clear indicator.
I'd be fine with less power, like just the front-wheel drive version.
Yeah, but all-wheel
like-
drive's nice to have with these things.
Yes, less power and all-wheel drive would be fine for me and more range. But I guess they can't make different size batteries.
Yeah.
Back to looks. We have mirrors that go the full edge. That's cool.
They're very luxurious looking from here, and I love that, actually.
Okay, what do you think of this sunroof? I actually have a great view of it. why am I sitting so high and so close in my awesome new puffy jacket I got at the flea market?
Because I have my Britax car seat, because I actually have to pick up my son from daycare after this. So it is taking a considerable amount of room for the front passenger. So when I'm there, you'll see what that looks like later. But there's a decent amount of room overall in here for shorter people. But if you're as tall as I am, There's no room behind myself.
Well, even at like 5'8", sitting there, like my head is like almost there into the roof.
Yeah.
Not the sunroof, and I'm like, okay.
And then one other thing that I noticed is while I'm sitting here, you know, sometimes you're on a road trip, you want to relax your legs, you're on cruise control. I pull my legs back, and the floor is so high that my leg is touching the steering wheel.
That's
because the batteries are all underneath and everything.
By the way, I haven't driven this car yet.
No, so Yuri's first genuine opinion is going to be when he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
We're keeping it real this year, which we always keep it real.
We kept it so real that you guys don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, suspension. Very bouncy, just like every other EV, which I really don't like. So let's test it into Cliche Corner. And handling is decent on a wet day. I can't really floor it today because it's just gonna understeer. And it understeers at first, and then you get a touch of oversteer sometimes, which kind of makes it fun, like right there.
You know
Well,
what?
like a touch.
It's like it scares you with a bit of understeer and then saves you with a little bit more to the back. You're like, you need a little more.
I was genuinely a little
And
bit...
that's sport mode.
Sport mode,
ESC.
ESC, yes, because there's no actual drive modes for this. There's only steering feel modes, and then one pedal drive modes, and then your creep on or off.
Yeah, it felt all right. Honestly, it's not like too bouncy. I haven't noticed it too bouncy for me, but it's also not like...
You also haven't driven it, and you've only taken it as a passenger through Cliche Corner. On the highway, that's when you really notice it, like through those undulations and stuff.
Yeah.
That like the Mach-E, if you don't get the Magna Ride dampers, then it's equally as bouncy, basically. But let's get you into the driver's seat to explore this for the first time.
Oh. Why are you so high up, bro?
You know, I like to live life high.
Yeah, is the car on?
You actually have to put into drive or reverse.
Drive?
That's the only way
Drive
to turn
park.
it on.
Mine park?
You're
No, I was
in
in neutral.
neutral.
How did I get into neutral? I pushed park. What? Okay. Launch. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go full brakes. RIP forehead.
That's good brakes.
You're with your hands up there.
Dude, my forehead is literally here. So if you're a taller adult and you have a child seat in the back,
Sitting behind.
sit behind the driver, and there's still not much room
Oh,
there.
handling feels freaking awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that feels better than the Volvo C40 that I drove.
Yeah, and it also feels better than that XC40, which wasn't an electric car.
Yeah.
And the XC40 is the sister car of this, which is kind of identical to this as a Recharge fully electric car.
All right, getting in, I noticed that we've got normal carpets. We don't have fancy blue carpets like that C40,
No,
but
you know what else we don't have?
What?
TuxMat. Go to tuxmat.com/TheStraightPipes and check out what they have available for your car.
I think the material of the TuxMat would fit the luxuriousness of this interior because it's really nice materials everywhere.
It really would, and speaking of wood, this wood grain with this white kind of reminds me of my computer desk. It looks really nice and Scandinavian.
Yeah, I like it. The whole interior stuff's cool. I thought, like, what can they do to make it like fancier than a Volvo? And like, yeah, no, it is. It definitely feels like a step up. Where Volvo would be like all black with like a blue carpet or something.
Yeah, it's like I look at everything and I touch everything, and I'm like, what kind of recycled material was this before? Like, was this a former shoe that I threw out? Like, I don't know, but it's cool. It's nice.
And by the way, if you are comparing this to a Volvo, you can also compare it on tsp.truecar.com.
Yes, discounted price offers. They do have Polestar and they do have Volvos, especially a lot of used Polestars.
Brake check. No,
Please
okay.
Let's just check the visor since it's at my eye level.
3, 2, 1. No, but Volvos don't, so why would this?
This is different, Yuri.
I know, but it's a spicy Volvo.
It
Okay,
is.
cup holders. So we have 2 cup holders. If we lift our armrest, there's the second hidden one, and it does fit fine. But then if I want to slide my armrest forward,
You got to take out the cup.
and then my elbows just barely touch the armrest while touching the steering wheel,
So then if you,
and then I can hold my cup while driving.
and then put the cup back in and you're not as comfortable because it's a weird position.
Yeah. And then this has 1 pedal driving. It's not slowing down for me.
Okay, so we're gonna go to standard.
Okay, what's this creep mode say?
Creep. Oh, is it gonna come to a stop? No.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
bro.
okay.
This is what I get for letting you test the car without me driving
I'm
it.
so sorry. Okay, creep. So I turned it off, and now you take your foot off the gas. And
Oh, it doesn't
nothing
creep.
happens. And I like creep because it makes it feel like a gas car.
Yeah, I like that normalness. Hey, steering feel, light, firm, standard. What do you like?
I like light and standard. Firm is kind of annoying. It doesn't. Okay, please don't.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. Assist. Do we have lane centering on the highway?
Yes, we do. We have the pilot assist, and it works really well, except you have to have fairly firm pressure on the steering wheel.
Oh yeah, or else they're like da 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 da.
And this has Google Maps. This is full Google Android infotainment and gauge cluster, so you can have full Google Maps in the gauge cluster at the same time as having it on your main display.
And when your directions are going, I guess it's going to be just like the C40, where it'll like have the directions in the gauge cluster too. And what I liked with the C40 is that it showed where cops were on the 407 in the gauge cluster.
That's pretty sick.
If it was, you know, registered on Waze. It's not following all cops.
Yes.
It's not one of the features. Reverse camera, and I saw a button that said 360, but I can't get them both at the same time.
Correct. But it does have a 360 camera, and it's just like Volvo resolution.
That's just one of the things about like vertical screens. It's never like widescreen perfect. And then, okay, so back to this Android Automotive. This is different looking than the Volvo was for Android Automotive.
Yep, and it also has Apple CarPlay as well, so that works really well. I've been using that.
I saw Sirius XM in here.
Yep, it's got that.
Nice. Yeah, I really like the way in the C40 that it showed me where the charging stations were in Google Maps. Is it the same in this?
Yes. So do you want to get into the rant?
Have we filmed you in the back seat?
Now we have. I don't really fit back there.
Okay, besides the rant stuff, like, it's pretty nice?
It's pretty nice.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, here we go. I've got some charging math and everything that happened to me during the week of having this car. So I used the Google Maps built into the car to find a fast charger. Now I know there's one particular fast charger because it's brand new. Well, it's not even new, it's several months old now.
At a rest stop?
At a rest stop, it's at an en route, it's called Ivy. And the car said that it was not compatible with the car. Now you can set that through the infotainment to only show you compatible plugs. It said it wasn't compatible, but I know for a fact this car is compatible. So I drove there anyways, against the car's better judgment. I got there, it charged fine after the IV charger failed first, and then it charged normally. So that was good. I do have the cost of charging at Ivy, but when I went to Electrify Canada the next day, I also have the price of that. Now I went there, I went to the 350 kilowatt charger. It did not charge up to the correct speed because we've had issues there in the past.
We think that charger is faulty, and I think we talked to someone there and they brought something up that it might be faulty, but no way of showing.
Exactly. So then I moved over a couple stalls, went to the 150, and I instantly got a faster charging rate, which I figured would happen and shouldn't be happening at the same temperature because whatever, electric cars. Okay, so I wrote down everything in my phone so I wouldn't get everything wrong. At Ivy, I paid $3.89 for 40.7 kilowatt hours in 34 minutes.
Okay.
At Electrify Canada, I paid $26.50 for 33.9 kilowatt hours in 41 minutes. So I paid nearly 7 times more. It took more time to charge. And it's only because Ivy sent out a notification because they know that their chargers are currently not charging at the optimum speeds. So they're actually reducing the cost down to 10 cents a minute at Ivy chargers because you're not getting the charging rate that they're advertising. However, it still charged faster than Electrify Canada did.
And that was at the 150 or the 350?
That was at the 150 at Electrify Canada. So if I stayed at the 350, it would have taken even longer because it was charging slower.
Would you be charged even more money at the 350 than the 150?
Technically, no, but here's the crazy part. So the charger shows from 1 to 90 kilowatts charging speed costs 27 cents per minute. From 1 to 350, it costs 57 cents per minute. So how can 1 to 90 and 1 to 350 be two different numbers? It should be 90 to 350 is the higher rate, right? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Until you read the fine print, it says the price depends on the maximum power level your vehicle can accept. So even though the vehicle can apparently accept more than 90, it charged me the 57 cent per minute rate, even though I did not get close to the 90 charging rate, which is the lower one.
Because the charger can't provide it to you.
Because apparently the battery's too cold or the charger can't provide it. It's insane.
Yeah, that's, and then we did try to charge today on the way here at the Petro Canada. Surprise, surprise, doesn't work, never works. I don't know. Look, we want it to work.
Yeah.
We really want it to work.
I don't want to have problems.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
I don't want to have to tell people that Tesla is like the only good choice if you need to publicly charge.
Yes.
But like, I can't say anything else really. And Tesla won't even give us cars.
Yeah.
and like, you know. Like,
and here's the thing, and I know you guys are gonna say just charge it at home. That's not a real world scenario. during the holidays, people were traveling. There was an article about people that couldn't charge along the same chargers that I was charging at. If you have one car, which, that's the ideal solution, you have one electric car, you have to use these chargers if you want to go visit your family.
And apparently Quebec is way better than Ontario.
Yes.
This is Ontario problems, and I'm sure I've seen articles of stuff in like the States and stuff too, but like, yeah, I don't, we want it to work. We want it to work. I don't want electric cars to not work. I don't want Tesla to be better than everyone.
Yeah.
But like,
right now, I think if you want an EV, plug-in hybrids are the current solution to that, and I think they work great at that.
or a Tesla. I mean, and personally, I think Elon could go like a couple more levels of like,
Yo, he's going wild.
before I would not buy a Tesla first.
Okay.
You know, in my head.
Yeah. I was listening to Spike Ferriston, and his wife said she's done with Tesla after this Tesla because he's already gone off the deep end for her.
Yeah, well, good luck charging whatever
Yeah.
Ioniq you buy.
Well, they want an EQS.
Oh. But say I lived in Quebec,
Yep.
I didn't like Tesla, this would be a good alternative.
I think it would be a pretty decent alternative other than the space limitations in here.
But like a lot of people don't need, like for me, like my knee's not hitting if I lift my leg up.
Yeah.
And then like, I usually don't drive many people around, so whatever.
Yeah.
And then if you've got like a small kid, like you could also, like if your wife's not like 6 feet tall, like she could probably sit behind the driver too.
There was one thing that
Unless the
also-
wife's driving and you're under 6 feet tall, then you could sit in the back too.
There was also one thing that bothered me is that since the car is only on when you have it in reverse or drive, you can't preheat it if it's not plugged in. So let's say I went to your house, I don't live there, we had a play date with our kids, I wanted to preheat my car outside because it's cold out, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, and I guess the app doesn't work in Canada. We couldn't connect to it here.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I bet there is an app for the States, I think.
yes, it recently got announced.
So before we get to the price, do you like this more than the EQS is?
I think this is less overwhelming, and I think it's more calming to drive. I actually think this is better.
Interesting. 'Cause
Like, the EQS had a bunch of crazy stuff, but I didn't necessarily like all the craziness.
I like a lot of the simplicity of this. Like I really like the C40. I like a lot about this. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like all the lights on the EQS, but it's like a way more expensive car too.
Yeah, and like the ambient lighting is really nice and calming and stuff. You can see it during the day. Like, this is a really nice interior overall. It's just, it's got some things to it.
I feel like it's mostly the charging infrastructure.
It
that's the
really
thing. Like,
mostly is.
If they could fix that, because even Ivy, they said like you need an app for that, right?
Yep.
And then they sent out an email saying,
That apparently they're working with a Canadian company to make paying easier.
and I talked to the guy, and that's just literally a QR code that you can scan and pay from a browser. Still not a credit card tap, because that's going to take years to do. And you know what? In my opinion, like I saw an article where a guy was he was putting fake parking tickets on people's cars with a QR code that just paid him. He got in trouble and like
Well, yeah,
went to
'cause-
jail and stuff. You can't just steal money from people and fraud or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I feel like QR codes can get vandalized in public too. Like I went to Collingwood and I had to park in front of a beach and I had to scan a QR code, put in my license plate, and pay to a browser. That was just a sign on the side of the road. And I'm like, this is so sketchy. I'm
Yeah.
literally giving my credit card to a sign on the side of the road.
Yeah, to a browser that you don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
what.
like, I don't even know if this is a real company or not.
Anyways, the future is now. Here's electric cars, and let's get to the price.
Let's get to the price.
It starts at $58,950,
Canadian,
and this one is $74,950.
not that expensive.
I mean, it's kind of a lot, but at the same time,
Compared
this
to
is
other electric cars,
it's the dual motor version. If you want to save $5,000 right off the bat, you get the single motor front wheel drive version.
but the all-wheel drive version like handles really nice. Like this is actually, this is one of the more fun
Yeah.
electric cars for sure.
Surprisingly, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool, and it's a cool conversation starter because people are like, what is a Polestar?
What's a Polestar? You can make that joke that I didn't actually make. It's just
Yeah.
a conversation thing.
You're my Polestar.
Thank you, Yuri.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
From Yuri and Jacob.
Enjoy more electric car rants, but we're gonna, I don't know. I don't want to rant about these things. I want everybody to have a good time. Trying to make the world a better place.
I just want people to be able to charge their electric cars in public.
Yes, that's all we
Because
want.
we like electric cars.
Yeah, they make sense for a lot of people.
Like my CX-5, the amount of short trips we take in it, like I wish I had an electric car because I'm just like, I need to warm up this engine more often. Come on.
Let us know in the comments what you think of the Polestar 2, and we'll see you at the next video.